Hi, my name is Michael Hawkins, the head coach of the UBC men's volleyball team.
My name is Reeve Ginjera. I'm my third year here at UBC, and I'm an outside hitter.
I'm Tom Jones. I'm an alumnus of the T-Bird program. I played 3 years here at university at UBC.
My name is Mason. I am a fourth-year setter here at UBC. I'd say I grew up around volleyball. My dad played national team overseas and Canadian national team for multiple years.
I kind of always knew that I wanted to coach, but even when I was playing, I felt like I was that obnoxious teammate that was like teaching passers how to pass or middles how to block, even though I was bad at both of those skills.
I didn't start too early, maybe around grade 6 or so. I'm in a pretty big volleyball family. Both my parents playing in Europe, and my sister also plays a new sport.
This summer, I had the opportunity to train with the Next Gen team in Gatineau. Yeah, we traveled to Dominican Republic where we played in the Pan Am Cup, and also in Gatineau we actually had the opportunity to play in the Norseca Final Six.
My national team journey started really here at UBC. I was here for 3 years and learned, I think, the key basics to becoming a team player and learning about training and discipline, and was part of the national team in '77 through to '84, the Olympic Games in '84 in Los Angeles.
I've been very fortunate to coach with the national team as long as I have. Started off in 2014, just kind of being a coach with some of the youth national programs. And throughout my years, I've just kind of made my way onto U23 coaching staffs, Next Gen coaching staff in the last couple of summers with our senior national team.
This summer I was training in Gatineau with the U23 team, and then at the end of the summer I competed in the Norseca Final Six tournament.
Being able to wear the maple leaf is always special, but having the opportunity to qualify for an Olympic Games and then compete in Paris 2024 was, I think, something that it still hasn't set in, even though I've been home now for a couple months.
We were on a team that was not very good when we began. In, 1977? We finished 20th in the world. Went from 20th in the world to almost a medal. I came 4th in the world in the Olympics.
There were a lot of parts of the Olympics that were really cool and like a lot of moments that really made me proud to be Canadian. The two that stand out the most were the opening ceremonies. Just seeing all the Canadians, in our like Lululemon gear, matching gear, waving the Canadian flags as we're like waving to the crowd and seeing more Canadian flags. Like my face hurt from smiling because I just couldn't wrap my mind around like how cool it felt to be Canadian in that moment. And then hearing the national anthem before our first game when we were playing Slovenia. I've been fortunate to be on the sidelines listening to our national anthem and singing along, but that one just felt different. Like I even just get chills saying that out loud now. Like same thing. I was just fortunate there was someone like with a Canadian flag that was like right on my sight line, like directly across from me. I honestly have no idea who the person was. I couldn't really make out their face, but I just stared at that flag the entire time.
And it's pretty special to know that your country has you there to perform and know that everybody back home supports you.
UBC is, I think, where young people learn about themselves and learn to be part of a group, learn to tolerate training, learn about discipline.
I think the biggest thing between UBC and the national team is just how similar the scheduling and training is. So the practices just came easier and the style of practice felt very natural to me.
Representing Canada is, I think, one of the thrills of any athlete's life. I always thought of it as a privilege when you hear the anthem played and you're out there representing our country. It really does give you chills. To wear the red and white is a thrill like no other. Wouldn't trade that for the world.
Yeah, I guess it's just an honor to play and represent our country. I'd say the biggest thing that comes to mind is just my dad. He's my one guy I look up to almost every day, and I just want to kind of experience what he experienced. So being able to represent the leaf for myself, but also kind of share that with my dad is a massive thing for me and something I don't take for granted.
that, and then we'll do the kind of like self-toss to attack.
I think because we have so many fresh faces, this feels like a brand new team. It doesn't just feel like a rollover from last year, though we really only lost a couple of guys and brought back kind of most of our young core. This season feels fresh. The objectives, the goals, the mountain that we're trying to climb feels fresh.
Okay, so we'll split you guys up. So there's gonna be 3 skill areas. I want you guys to come up with what you think should be our objective going into this weekend. So it doesn't have to be like statistics driven. If anything, this is a little bit more of like an identity piece, a culture piece, behavior piece. Okay, but in serving, defense, and attacking.
The biggest thing working on since day one is like toolbox and decision making. Like not easy to show stats, but that doesn't matter. Just like, I'm not an outside, but recycling when it's there, making the shot that's available.
Just like if you're hitting, what would Renner do?
Hit it line. Hit it out. Hit it line.
I also have cross, but that's crazy.
It's always interesting going into the first weekend of preseason. There's a lot of excitement, but as a coach, you kind of know that the wheels are going to fall off at some point.
Yeah, I'm just excited, boys. This is the most excited I've ever been for a preseason game or weekend or whatever, and I think it's, I think you guys can feel it too. We got a special group, and I think we can do some really special things this year. Things that have never been done in this gym before. The thing I'll say every year, like nobody's ever won a national championship in September, and no one has ever lost one.
Okay, ready? Ready, 3, 2, 1.
Just do what we do. Do what we've been doing for the last month. Yeah, I said to Nikki J, just have fun. First time us like officially wearing this uniform. Have a good time. Okay, communicate, commit to what we're doing. Control the aggression at all times. Okay, go folks.
I got it.
UBC!
Though things were not perfect, our guys were resilient in the moments where things felt like they could have just slid into chaos. And like whether it was our first years playing their first real matches, or even some of our veterans that were just getting their feel, their rhythm back. Like there were moments that we could have, kind of like slid into that chaos, but we were just resilient with understanding like what our systems are, what our game plans were, but even just like individually what our strengths were. And I think that's why we were able to come out of, some of those matches, like those 3-1 matches on top, because we just navigated those rough waters and just kind of went back to playing UBC volleyball. I think if you go into a season without the goal being a national championship, you're probably in the wrong business. But I always say to our guys, like I don't lay awake at night like stressing over winning a national championship. I think winning is such a product of doing so many other things really well. So for us, like as cliche as it sounds, like just moving our culture forward, making sure that we're building in the professionalism and the brotherhood that we think are so vitally important for us at UBC. Like the professionalism to not only set ourselves up for success while they're here in the blue and gold, but being able to move those guys onto national team careers, professional careers, knowing that we're giving them all the behaviors and characteristics, both on and off the court, to prepare themselves. There is a ferocity and a hunger to not only be the best team in the country, but be the best UBC team there's ever been.